Welcome back, podcast patrons. Episode 236 of Leave the Pin podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dan. Today's episode is sponsored by Agape Golf, where your best shots begin. Check out their Empower Peak 5 Performance Golf Ball. Start your journey to lower scores today. Hey, listen, so episode 236, we're deep into this. We're getting towards Christmas time. There's not really much on Instagram that I see nowadays that kind of draws me in. A lot of it's just the same old like and subscribe BS. Check out my sponsor page, check out my discount code, et cetera, et cetera. It seems to me like Instagram is just the way movies are. Nothing's new and original anymore. Everyone just keeps on rehashing the same thing over and over and over. So I'm on Instagram one day, and through luck or fate or some connection that we have between two people that both follow us, I stumble upon Lyle and his account, Feel Golf with a Stranger. It was almost instantly I become hooked on this, and it's his personality. It's the way he interacts with people. It's the newness of what he's doing. Just like a breath of fresh air in the golf social media space. And I couldn't be happier to have him on the podcast. Lyle, what's the good word?
Dude, I'm just happy to be here. And I appreciate you saying like the newness of it. Because as somebody who's like scrolled the feeds for a long time without actually creating it, I've always like my friends are like, you should do stuff. You should do stuff. Like you should make stuff online. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of cringe though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes, I do know what you mean, dude. Because
Yeah.
when you put yourself out there at times in the beginning, I know people that are like, how many takes do you do? I'm like, I do one. I literally don't care what other people think. I enjoy doing it. We've got a core group of people that follow and like and stuff. And like, that's who I'm doing it for. I just want to interact with my Instagram friends.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's like, I mean, I started this back in like, well, really, I created the original account, which is called Crocodile Style, which is like a play on my personal Instagram handle, Lyle Crocodile,
Okay.
back in like
Okay.
November of 23, because I've been really into like vintage golf for a long time, and I've been like collecting pieces. So I was going to like create the Instagram handle to launch like this like vintage shop online.
Okay.
And
So
then
all
once I
apparel
started,
and stuff.
yeah, but once I started to really get a lot of pieces, I was like, dude, I can't sell any of this. I need it all. Like I can't do it. And then ever since I've just been stockpiling vintage golf clothing, hats, like anything I can get online, I just buy it. And like it's one of like my little niche golf addiction. And then like yeah, this past summer, I just like one day, I don't even really remember, but it was like sometime in like July, it kind of like hit me that it's like feel golf, like. And then I changed the name on Crocodile Style, and then I turned it into Feel Golf, and I started really posting in August. And I remember at first, like some of my sister's friends was like, "What is your brother doing? Like, is he trying to be like a influencer?"
But like,
and
that's the only way you can actually become one is to do it. Like, you have to do it. Like, you've got to push past those cringe moments that you think are, not going to be accepted by people and not going to be viewed. And you need to just like be out in the arena and actually do the damn thing.
yeah, no, you're 100% right. I have so essentially I have like like an archive highlight on my page where it's August 22nd. I just hit 100 followers. And back in like the beginning of August, I was about to turn 30, and I was going through this like crisis in my life, which sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Like when you're leaving your 20s, you're getting into this whole new decade. It's like a little daunting. Like my parents are getting older. I have a nephew now. All my friends are like settling down. None of them seem to really truly be like satisfied. They're just going through like the grind. And I was like, you know what? I need to like live a little. So it was like a Friday afternoon. I look at flights to Italy. I bought a plane ticket and just flew to Rome. And I was like in Italy for like not just in Italy, but I was in Europe for 3 weeks, just like playing golf. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna go out here and like play a bunch of cool golf courses, go on an adventure of the lifetime, and then hope that this becomes like the base layer of like something bigger. Which was like,
Did you know anybody out there at the time?
no.
Okay.
I no, dude. I've done a lot of solo traveling in my life. Like, traveling is something that's just like really important to me. Like going
I
other
love that.
places, experiencing culture.
Yeah, I love that.
I've been close to like 30 countries, and I have like a lot more that I want to go to. But I flew into Italy, and then I played golf in like Marco Simone, which is like the Ryder Cup
Yep.
course.
Yep.
I took a train to Florence, then I took another train to Venice. rented an RV, went to the Dolomites, lost my mind, went back to Venice, flew to Bulgaria, drove across Bulgaria to the Black Sea to play like this course called like Thracian Cliffs, which is like a Gary Player design. And it's just like it's like a diet version of Pebble Beach for 140 euros, and it is like magnificent. It's so beautiful. It's like etched along this cliffside. It's more on the ocean or the sea than Pebble is really. I mean, it's amazing. And then I went to Slovenia, played like the top 24 course in Europe, had one of the most incredible golf experiences of my life at a little spot called Royal Bled, which is in like the Alps of Slovenia. And I think Slovenia as a whole is like really slept on because its neighbors are Italy and Austria, so it's in pretty good company. And I think it's like out of all like the Eastern Bloc countries, which I've been to a lot of them, it has like recovered the best from communism. But that was like an incredible experience. And then I flew in this trip I flew into Rome 3 times, like getting around. And then I went back in there and then I played this course called like Antigalla, which is like the number one course in Italy, and like the mountains of Umbria. And it was like this like unreal experience. And like so that was kind of like my base layer of content. And so if you ever scroll back, there's some good stuff there.
Okay, so
Um
now not to sound stalkerish, right? But I have obviously. I do my research and watch everything and kind of.
yeah, yeah.
One of the things I love is I love seeing the progression of where things start and then how they get to where they are. So I guess before we even get to where they are currently, what's your background in golf? Because you're a stick, obviously, right? You're a
Yeah.
plus handicap golfer. Like, were you a top tier junior golfer? Did you play collegiately? Like, where do we start off with the game?
Yeah, so I was always in junior golf. I mean, I've been playing golf like pretty much my whole life. Like my dad had me on the golf course from when I was like 5 years old until we still play all the time. He's like 70 something now. He's about to turn his birthday's on Christmas. He turns 72.
Nice, happy birthday.
Yeah. So I mean, I played in high school and like in South. My parents moved from New Jersey to South Carolina when I was in 6th grade, and that kind of opens up a lot more opportunities for golf. In South Carolina, they have this program where essentially junior golfers pay, like they don't pay to play golf. So if you're accompanied by an adult, if you're under 16, you essentially play for free. So they also like the Junior Golf Association in South Carolina, the SCJGA is like has created more professional and collegiate golfers than probably any other association in like the country. I mean, they're top tier.
Yeah, I could see that easily. Yep.
Yeah, and then you also get to play in high school teams starting in 7th grade. So I tried out for the golf team in 7th grade. I made it. I was on JV, and then I was on varsity from 8th grade to my senior year. We came in second place in the state championship 6 years in a row, which kind of sucked. Um, and then I played one semester in college golf and just a D2 school in South Carolina. Just like hated my life. I had some just other things going on. I didn't want to take that seriously, and
Gotcha.
I was like, I'm not going to turn professional. Um, and then that was kind of it for a while. And then I just has always just been playing, but I'm not like some top ranked whatever guy. Just
Right, right, right.
a lifetime golfer really is it. It's like, yeah, I'm good now. It's like it only took 20 something years of consistently playing golf like every week to get here, you
So
know?
did golf fall out of the picture completely, or was it always kind of on the back burner? Like, were you still going out playing on the weekends? Were you still practicing and exploring courses in that whatever that 20 to 27, 28 year range?
Kind of. But it wasn't like a priority. Always used to like, pride myself on having like a lot of hobbies. Like I'm like really into like hiking and like mountain biking, and there's a point where I was living in like Tennessee, and I mean I was just like constantly on my mountain bike. It was just a lot of fun, and hiking with my dog. And like I would still play golf, but it wasn't like a everyday priority. And then within the last like 2 years, I've really become, I guess the term that they're using these days is like a golf sicko. Where and this is also like too, I'm going through my 20s, like trying to determine like who am I,
Right.
and it's like, yeah, I might be like a little granola. I thought I was like a hippie and like going to see jam bands and like doing all that stuff. But then I just realized like this year as I'm turning 30 that it's like I am a golfer and I'm just like fully embracing that. And It is who I am. It's the one thing in my life that has like been consistent, like through like good times and bad. I've always leaned on golf as like an outlet. And then really, like it was like last summer, I took a trip to Monterey. I couldn't afford to be there. I had a really good friend of mine who invited me. Little sidebar, that really good friend is this awesome guy named Chris who's played like 800 something golf courses around the world. He's played every good golf course ever. He's currently in New Zealand on like a 3 week golf trip, just knocking out all of the great courses down there. He was just playing a course, and there's a maintenance. He said, just text me right before he got on, and this is like tomorrow, like in our
Sure,
time.
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he texted me, and he's like, "There's a maintenance guy on 11." And he said something to him, and the guy had like a southern accent. He's like, "You're not from here. Do you live here?" And he said, "No." And then he walks up, and it was Bill Core, the golf course architect,
Wow.
Core
Yeah,
Crenshaw.
Corey Crenshaw, sure.
How crazy is that?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
dude, that like blew my mind. And it's, if anybody to meet someone like after Chris playing that many courses, like he's entitled to meet Bill Core, like in New Zealand of all places. You gotta love that. It's another quick sidebar. I have ADHD, so forgive me. But while he was in New Zealand, there's, I'm not sure.
I'll
Do you
reel
know
you
the
back
guy?
in if we need.
Do you know the guy Win the Day Golf? Have you ever heard of him
I have
before?
not. No, no.
So he runs kind of like a vintage shop, and he's like a New Zealand like YouTube golfer, but I mean mainly it's just all about like vintage clothing. He was playing with some junior golfers, and then after the round, like they were like, "Oh, that guy over there, he's like he does like YouTube or whatever," and like like this guy's name is Isaac. He said hi to Chris, and then Chris is like, "Oh, I have a buddy in the States who's like really into vintage golf," and he just started posting online. He's like, "Are you talking about Field Golf?" So yeah, they know me in New Zealand apparently.
Love that. I tell you what, it never ceases to amaze me how small the golf world is, right? And like
It
that
is.
experience there. I mean, I've had tons of them where I'm just I take a step back and I'm like, what the hell? Like from just posting on Instagram or putting a podcast out there, like how in the world have you ever heard of me before? You know, and it's awesome because golf to me is one of those things, and I think you'll probably agree, where if we can agree that we both love this sport at its core, like you can be best friends right off the bat if you have that connection through golf.
So I mean, just go to the airport these days. It's like a pissing competition of who has the coolest logo. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But so let me get back on track, right? Because like I became a golf sicko after I went to Monterey, and um, have you ever been to Monterey?
I have not. I've played golf across the country, and it's one of the spots that I've not been to. I believe me, I would love to go if Chris wants to send me out there. Chris, I'm coming,
Chris,
my man.
he's
But
like, so
like the to play Pebble, to spend 3 grand, to have to stay at the lodge, to play the course, like damn, I can get a lot of golf in for 3 grand.
I've got a pro tip for you and all the listeners, and this you can clip this. Okay, this is a good one. So if you join the Northern California, the NCGA E Club, every July they'll do like a discount to where if you're a member, you can go play Spyglass, and it's only like $250.
Okay,
And then you go play the other courses around there. I mean, like Pebble's Pebble, right?
right.
But a lot of, I mean, a lot of like good golfers would prefer to play Spyglass over Pebble.
Well, for sure. And there's so
And
many other
then,
courses outside of Pebble, but
oh,
if
dude,
you're
it's
there,
unbelievable.
like if you're coming from the East Coast and you're there, like you have to play it. Like how many
Yeah.
times are you gonna get back out there?
Well, yeah, exactly. But Spyglass is like an epic routing because you start on like you start on this hill towards the forest, and you take this left on number one, and then you see the ocean, and then you play these like 4 holes, and it's like very beautiful. And then for the rest of the course, you're like working back up the hill, and it's just like
Mm.
you're like fighting for your life to try to make pars. But at that day and time, it was like July of 24. Like the minute you tee off on Spyglass, and this is like hollow ground, and you take that left and you see the ocean, and there's like these like majestic like 12-point bucks. I'm not even kidding. Their antlers are up to here. Obviously, they're in California, so they don't have any predators. I don't think they really hunt over there anyway. It's like not like Jim Nance has a hunting rifle picking off deers from his backyard. Dude, those things are huge. But like the minute you see the ocean, it's like, oh my goodness. I It changed everything in my life. Like it started to, like, I love to travel, and then all of a sudden it clicked. I was like, maybe I should really start to like travel and like see the world like through good golf courses. But it also gave me like this like thirst for like wanting to play like the best golf courses. And in my opinion, I think the top 100 is kind of like a sold out, washed out way of like ranking golf courses. They get a lot of it right, but I think they also get some stuff wrong, and that's fine. But yeah, I mean, it totally like changed the way that I look at stuff. And then I've been kind of on a quest to try to play like the best golf I possibly can, and really just like embrace that. I mean, I was the zero handicap like last year, and then this year I got to a plus three. At one point, I was a plus 3.5, which is like a little crazy.
Yeah.
But I played my first tournament since I was a junior in August on the Queen City Golf Tour, which is run by my boy Joey V. He wasn't a friend until like I played with him. He also like owns the tour, and then I played him. And sorry, Joey, I freaking rinsed him. Like it was so funny because we were on the range that day, and he was like talking about how he played like in a Monday queue for the Wyndham, and my girlfriend was there, and I was like, I haven't played in a tournament since I was a teenager. I'm 29, right? And all of a sudden, I got like this like fit of like nervousness. I was like, dude, these guys are good, dude. Like I'm scared. Like, and I on number one, I like pole hooked one into the woods, and I'm like chipping out, and I'm having like flashbacks to like junior golf and like scary. Like it was always tough, right? And then I like chipped one out sideways, and then I had to put one on the green, and I ended up making like a 10-foot putt to save bogey. And then that was my only bogey of the day. I shot 67. I just freaking
What's the catalyst to decide that you want to come back and play in an actual tournament for the first time in 10, 12 plus years?
yeah, I guess I was ready to get hurt again. Tournament golf is a ringer. I mean, that's why it's like I've had people offer like, "Let's play a match, dude. Let's play a match." It's like, dude, I'm not Grant Horvat or these guys.
Right,
Like
right.
that doesn't do anything for me. I
Tournament
really look
golf
at
is not regular golf. People don't
no, it's
understand that.
but even like matches as opposed to like playing in like a sanctioned event with rules officials in a field, like nerves, all of those things. I mean, really, it's like a way to like drive myself to get myself out of my comfort zone. I think there's a lot of people in this world, and luckily we all found golf. But a lot of people aren't really like working on something like actively in their life. Like they go to work, they go home, they eat processed foods and watch Netflix. And then they like wake up the next day with brain fog and they do it again.
Yep.
And for me, it's like something that like I really just wanted to do it to like push myself. It's like I've been playing good golf. Like, can I get into it? But it was also around the same time that I started this page. So I was like, should I like do this? And maybe I don't want to be like all talk or like people on the internet say like I'll edit. It's like I can actually play golf. And like it was a massive thing. And it was just one of those things that happened. I lit it up. And then after that tournament was on, so I booked the trip to Friday. I booked the trip to Europe on Friday. And then that tournament was like on Saturday. And then I left on Monday. It all just happened really. And I entered that tournament on Wednesday. I'm
That's a
very
whirlwind.
spontaneous. That's essentially like the whole van thing. But yeah.
Okay. So we go from, top tier junior golf, good enough to play collegiately, in love with the game, come back after a decade off, win a tournament, and then you go buy a white van with no windows.
Yes. Yeah, I do. I did that.
Walk me not only through that decision, because I honestly, dude, people chasing their dreams, like I absolutely love. I can't even support more than 100%. You know what I mean? Like I can't give you enough support. I think it's the greatest thing ever. Where does that thought start to build? Like, where's that tiny chrysalis start in your mind that maybe this is something no one's done before, and maybe I'm the guy to do it? Like, I've got the personality, I got the
Yeah.
look. Where's that come from?
Well, I'll say this. Whenever I went to Italy this summer and I rented an RV and drove in the Dolomites and like camped out and played golf, like that was one of the coolest things I've ever done. And in that moment, I felt like super free and I felt like super just like alive and like present, right? And it was 2 weeks ago. I had some buddies, these guys I met playing at the Ocean Course. They were caddies, and then they got me on, so I have like discounts. I play Ocean Course for $50 now. Don't tell
Oh, I like
anybody.
that. Yeah, I like that.
But they were going to come up to Charlotte, and then we're going to go play Tot Hill, and then they canceled. They got put on the schedule. So then I just like put the tee time up online. I had all these people messaging me saying they want to play, and I was like, "This is interesting. This is the first time I've ever really done that." And at this time, this was only a few weeks ago, but I think I had like 7,000 followers. And then all of a sudden, get my inbox inundated with messages, and I see this guy's profile picture, and this is the one I picked because he was like playing a guitar, and I also play guitar. I was like, what can possibly go wrong? So then, we were messaging back and forth, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick you up, and I picked him up and went play golf, and dude, he became like an instant friend, like immediately. And then that video kind of like popped off. I think it has like over 100,000 views now, and but like the difference is I've had videos with higher views, but the engagement on this was insane. Like the amount of like messages I got from people wanting to play golf or invites I received
Now,
to
is that
play
from North Carolina itself? Are these people that were willing to
everywhere.
travel to play with you? Are they inviting you across the country? Like, what's that look
Dude,
like?
this is crazy. I have invites right now from like multiple countries in Europe. I've got a guy in like all the way in Hawaii that has like a private club. He's like, let me play. I have a lot of like private golf invites right now, which
Yeah.
is like
Well, you know
nothing.
what's hilarious? Like it's crazy because the more you get into golf, the cheaper golf is. Like I always tell people, like, man, you've played so many courses, it must be expensive. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's not. Like they want you to come. Like people love showing off their clubs. You know,
They
it's
do.
like they like to puff their chest out and be like, man, come and see this. It's the greatest course you'll ever see. And then everyone wants to do that, you know, and they want to bring people in. And I think that's awesome, right? I love playing free golf.
Yeah, well, the reason why I knew this was going to be successful is because the day after the video posted, and I was driving, so I was like driving to I was going to go do a favor for a friend. Like he owns an HVAC company, and I was just going to take a bunch of pictures and stuff for him with my camera. And then like in my hidden or like whatever the message inbox is, that's like not your like
Yes.
main, the other
Yes.
one that all like the requests go to. I was like trying to find this address, but then I also like just was like looking at my phone while I was driving, which I'm not supposed to do, but I did anyway. Because and then I see like a blue check mark, and I see the word Selena, and I like pulled over and started like sweating bullets, and I like everything got really dizzy, and it was Wesley Bryant, and he said, "Golf with a stranger anytime you want it, Selena." And I'm like, okay, so if I just reach the final boss of like social media golf
Sure.
through this one video, then there's obviously some traction here, and and then, like, yeah, I guess the next day, what was funny is because the guy who runs the HVAC, I was taking pictures of a Ford Transit Connect van, which is like what I bought. And I was like, dude, I was looking at this thing, I was like, I can sleep in this. And and I was like, yeah, this seems like it could be, this seems like it could work. I mean, I have a Rav 4, but I was like, it would be funny to like pick strangers up in a van because
Yes.
like that's all the things that they told you never to do as a kid. Like
Yes.
don't get into vans, like don't meet people like strangers. So I was just like, for me, it's all just like, yeah, it's just really funny. But then also too, I was like, but I feel like I can like really brand this well. And then I have like, I mean, tomorrow I got invited to play a sweet private Donald Ross course in South Carolina, and I'm playing with some guys who played baseball at the Citadel, and one of them just recently, he's like he had a cancer diagnosis this year, and he's like doing a lot better. He just started playing golf again, but
Okay.
um it's like we're gonna do like our first like actual like little conversation outside of the van, like fireside chat, if you will.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to collect the stories of these people. I mean, really, I think I have the position to kind of have like a moving conversation series, whatever, on wheels. And the van just allows me to kind of just like put myself into a position to go to cool places. In the back of my mind too, it's like this seems like it could be a really great way to do a crossover and just kind of branch a little bit further out of golf. And I've seen that. I mean, I've been getting like really good engagement on these videos, and I haven't been swinging a golf club. So, ideally, it's like long term vision for Field Golf is to kind of create like this like media platform that like resembles like Barstool Sports, but you like strip it of like the douchiness and like the frat personality, and then that's what you would get.
Right.
And
Which
I
I'm on
definitely
board for because I think that's, and look, I'm an old curmudgeon, you know what I mean? I'll admit it. I'll stand there and yell at clouds. I don't give a fuck at my age, you know what I mean? Honestly. But yeah, I love that, dude. Like that's in my opinion, that's what golf needs more of. People say all the time, like, we should grow the game. Like, hell, I'm on board, like, shrink the game. Like, I want idiots out of it. My home course is this little local muni 9-holer. My high school team plays there. I coach the high school team. Both my boys grew up on a completely goat track, golf course. They played some of the greatest courses in the world, right? But that's where they grew up and still play to this day. And I see people out there all the time driving carts over greens, driving over tee boxes, the dumbest stuff in the world because they feel like, well, this is a crap course. I can do whatever I want. And then you talk to these people and maybe you try to inform them, like, especially when I'm coaching, I do with my kids around. And, they're like, oh yeah, well, man, I watch YouTube golf. I got into it during COVID, and that's what they do. Like, they would jump in golf carts and stuff. I'm like, all right, like, just shit, it makes me see red.
No, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, I go to golf. I play golf to play golf. I don't like. I really can't stand like music on the golf course. I'm just being honest. Like, it's
Yeah,
not.
I'm in the
That's not
same
my
boat,
vibe.
which is crazy because music literally runs my life. But
Same.
on the course, I want to be out there. God, I don't want this to sound corny, but I want to feel golf, like you said. Like, you know what I mean? I want to talk with the people I'm with. I want to enjoy nature. I want to hear the shot. There's no better sound to me than like the jangling of clubs on my back as I'm walking down the fairway. I love
Walking, that's the key, walking. And
without a
like I
doubt.
also think that like golf culture in America is like kind of like washed out by everybody constantly wanting to ride. I
Yep.
mean, when I
All
posted
that
the first
that
golf
all
with a
revenue for the
stranger,
clubs.
well, absolutely, but when I posted that first golf with a stranger video and we walked like Tot Hill, I would consider Tot Hill a medium elevation golf course. It's not a mountain track. Everyone's like, "You're crazy for walking that." It's like, dude, I don't really work out. I'll be honest. I'm kind of like a skinny fat guy. I eat 50% of the time for health. I eat 50% of the time for dopamine. So like my only exercise is golf, right? So like I really enjoy just like walking a really classic or even like if it's a historic like Donald Ross course, like, dude, there should be no golf carts allowed unless you're handicapped.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's
Just
good exercise
like
for you.
Pinehurst number 2 does or something like that.
A lot of good golf courses don't allow golf carts, and I think people would be a lot happier if we didn't rely on golf course because then you get rid of a cart path, and all of a sudden it's like you don't really need that. You know what I mean? Like, so just yeah, dude, walking is key to me. I love it. There's nothing better than like walking the golf course, clearing your mind. It's just it is therapy.
Well, I think one of the big things too, like when you walk too, the game slows down a little bit. And I don't mean that in terms of time, right? I mean that in terms of, okay, I hit a poor shot. If you're in a cart, you're at that next shot within 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and those same negative thoughts are still in your head. But when you walk, you've got time to decompress, let that go. And, however you handle it, whether you get mad for 10 seconds and then, decompress and then walk to the next shot. But it gives you time and it gives you time to breathe. And you mentioned Todd Hill Farm a few times. I'm going to get killed if I don't mention Uncle Robbie. So shout out Uncle Robbie because he listens all the time. So I got to do that. Robbie Wooten, who runs the course there. If I don't say it, he'll come down my throat with that. But Uncle Robbie's a great guy out there. And Todd Hill is a phenomenal spot. And quite honestly, I don't remember if it was me watching someone else's Instagram story, or maybe they posted something, or you tagged that, or something along those lines. But it definitely had to do with the Sandhills region. It had to do with Todd Hill Farm. And that's how I was kind of drawn to, your content. So you have this van, you're down there. The first time is at Todd Hill. I got to ask right off the bat, because you always say in your videos, you're like, they haven't killed me yet, right?
Yeah.
Granted, the golf Instagram community is filled with pretty decent people. Like, personally, I've only met one or two people that I've really ever wanted to block, just because you can just tell that they're scum of the earth people. Um, do you worry about that? Does your girlfriend worry about that? Do your parents worry about that at all? Or is that not even a concern? Your safety when
I don't
you're
think it's a concern, but I
okay.
do have an axe. Well, the first time I picked him up, I had my Rav4, and then I like decided I was like, I'm gonna go buy a van. So I haven't technically picked anybody up in the van yet because
Okay.
I've been traveling to every golf course.
So everyone meets you there.
Yeah, but I don't. That's like not preferred. I want. I want to pick them up in the van, and I want to slide the door open, and I
Yeah.
want them to enter in through the sliding door.
I want to see the video with you having like Pro V1s in your hands and be like, "Come on in. Would you like a
That's
Pro
actually
V1?"
that's a great idea. That's
And
a
the
great.
guys
It's
are
a
like,
left
"Yes,
dash.
yes, I would like a Pro V1."
It's a left dash. It's like yes, get here.
And then you slam the door, right? And it cuts to you driving, and then we're at the course.
Yeah, no. Okay, you just gave me an excellent idea.
Take it and use it. I love it. I
I'm
love it.
gonna dedicate that one to Daniel. That's too funny, dude.
So your marketing strategy, right? I think is also brilliant. The signing cardboard on the back, right? Golf with a stranger. Everything plays off that like late 80s, early 90s TV video PSA. Like I imagine like Nancy Reagan. That probably is early for your time, but I imagine like Nancy Reagan coming on and be like, "Kids, don't get into a van with strangers. Don't
Yeah.
accept candy." Like it's awesome, dude.
This is your brain on drugs. This is your brain on golf.
Now, where do you decide to play? Is that based upon where the people are? Like, because you did, like I said, you did everything kind of around the Pinehurst region recently.
Yeah.
Is that calculated, or is that just something like, hey, I'm here, I'm around here, I'm gonna do that now? Like in the future, do you envision saying, well, I'm gonna go to Illinois, right, and I'm gonna play Chicago area courses, and
Yeah.
who's around for that?
Well, the intention behind, and I can't say it yet, but hopefully, well, I know for a fact it's going to happen in the new year already. Like, so I'm going to drive this van across the country.
I love
I
that.
have 2 loops, dude. I'm going to try to hit as much as I possibly can. I've got like a northern stretch, and I'm going to try to knock out as many golf courses as I can along the way. I mean, I don't even know how long I'll be gone for, but like it's something I've always really wanted to do. And so like I'm gonna do it. And I really in a way it's like a marketing scheme for like grassroots, just getting my stuff out there. But I have invitations everywhere. I could just be like, hey, I mean, like literally, even like places like Iowa. I have people tell me today, we've got the best soil in the country. Come check it out. It's like, dude, I bet you do, man. But like, I really want to go play like French Lick and like Landman in Nebraska. And it's like the only
Sure,
way you're gonna
sure.
get to Landman is driving there. Like, what are you gonna fly to Nebraska to play golf? Like, no, that's not like a one-off for me. It's just gonna be a part of like a bigger trip. But I'm gonna start this. So like hopefully, I don't know when. I would like to be able to do like March because I want to do some spring skiing. That would be kind of cool. And I'm gonna start in Myrtle Beach, and then the goal is to drive and finish in Pebble Beach, and because that's kind of like where I started, and then that's where everything changed.
Yeah.
And then my sister's moving to Dallas for like work here soon, so then I'll loop back through Texas on the way back. But and then that's gonna be one trip, and then probably gonna do another trip where I just go rip to the Northeast. I want to go
Well,
play like Stowe Country Club in Vermont. Just recently did a renovation. It looks insane. And then like I got a bunch of invites to play golf in like New York and Rhode Island and all that stuff. So I grew up in the Northeast, but like in my opinion, like Northeast golf in the summer is just like the best.
it's cool. It's decent. It's decent. There are a lot of better areas of the country, I'll tell you that, but it's decent. So when you swing by Shawnee again, we'll get around in, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And I
nice.
got someone I'm gonna put you in touch with when we get off air as
Okay, that sounds good.
well. So the people reach out, you've got all these kind of invitations everywhere and stuff like that. How do you whittle it down?
So it's so funny. This guy Reed sent me like this hilarious message, and then that's how I picked him up. And then the other day, this guy from Tobacco Road, he was like, "Dude, I'm gonna go." He sent me like almost like a funny little resume, which I thought like totally grabbed my attention.
Yeah.
But then too, the other like most of these people too like to keep it like really totally like they're a stranger. Like I won't like follow them or anything.
Okay.
The one guy yesterday or the day before, he didn't. His profile picture was just a golf ball on a green. So I had no idea like what I was going to get into, and his
And
name
was
was
his account private too, or?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
of
his name
course.
was
Yeah.
Jason Brown, and like I gave him my number. I was like, dude, call me, and like I couldn't even tell, and then like he shows up, and like he's like nothing to what I expected. Everyone's been like super cool and fun,
Right. Right.
you know what I mean? Like just it's amazing, like the conversations and like it's pure fun. And like my guys that I brought to Southern Pines, like they're exchanging numbers. And I mean, all of this is in an effort to combat this like terrible like mental health crisis stuff that we've got going on in our country. People are lonely, and I've been there. You know what I mean? I spent most of my 20s alone, moving around for jobs, trying to just like pay my bills, and you know what I mean, just all the things. And like golf is like this one amazing equalizer that we have, to where if somebody plays golf and they're actually into it, not just like, yeah, I have clubs, all of a sudden it becomes like a great way to begin a conversation and start talking about stuff. And it's just one of these things that I like. In a way, I think that like through social media and a lot of these things, like we lost like our humanity in a sense. But I really truly believe that golf can like bring it back, and I think that golf has the power to build communities. And I'm not just like talking about communities of like white vanilla guys. Like
Sure,
I'm
sure.
talking about like bridging the gaps in society. Like you know, like the first tee, for instance, right? They teach life skills to children using the game of golf. And through all my issues that I've had in my life, I envision this thing. I would call it like the Field Golf Foundation, something like that, right? But it's like helping adults like getting into the game of golf that maybe have like struggled with whatever mental health, addiction, alcoholism,
Right.
and then having it almost mirror the first tee in a sense, and having different chapters and letting them like have a team, and then essentially play different chapters and like tournaments and stuff like that, just to let them be a part of something, and then teach them all like these like life skills. I mean, it's like, dude, you cheat in golf. Like, what's the point of cheating in golf? Like, what's the point? Like, it doesn't. Nobody cares if you shot anyway. Like all the
Right.
different things.
Yeah, you're
So
not playing for $1 million. Okay, nobody cares.
exactly, but just like life in golf is like a game where you literally play your mistakes, and that's the same exact thing with life. You know, in my 20s, I mean, it's like if I was looking at my life as like a scorecard, my late teens and early 20s, I made a couple triples, maybe a quad. But then like the back half of my 20s, I shot like 29. So
Right.
it's like something that you can really like, just like, dude, great example. That first tournament that coming back, I mean, to me, it's like I constantly find all these things in golf that mirror my own life. And it's like, dude, you know how terrible I felt when I like was like in the woods on one in that tournament? And it's like, here we go again. Like, what am I doing out here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, and I felt like really dialed in, like leading up to that point. And then all of a sudden, it's like, you know what? No, dude, like I can do this. I can literally work my way out of this. And then, just get the momentum and get the momentum. And next thing you know, it's like you're 5 under par. You know what I mean? Like you just won an event by 6 shots. Like that's really good. You know what I mean? So it's just like constantly finding those things that mirror life, and in golf, it's a blessing.
Yeah, I think you make some great points there, especially about mental health, which A is not talked about enough, right? And as males in society, we're supposed to kind of bottle things up and not let things affect us. One of the other points I think, which was phenomenal, is we give so much to youth, right? Up until let's say the age of 21, they can play on teams, they have easy ways to meet people. And then you get into your 20s and your 30s, and it almost becomes impossible to make friends, right? Because everyone's set in their ways. You've probably heard the phrase "no new friends," right? People, like, I'm good with who I have and stuff like that. And I think maybe that's why I got so drawn to, your account. It's your personality, your infectiousness that you're going through the game with, and it is so important because think of how many people we may have met that could become our best friends if we had just reached over the putting green and be like, "Hey, dude, like I love that putter," or something like that. Just
Yeah.
the most innocuous conversation starters within the game. But when you go to a course, what do you normally get? The three people you play with, your foursome. You don't interact with people outside of that. You're waiting to get called to a tee time. You're traveling the course with those four people, as a group. You see people here and there, but they're in the periphery. They're not part of your little social circle for that day. So that's one of the things that I love that you're doing about this is you're kind of breaking that stigmata of golf being like a good old boys club.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I appreciate that. That's a massive compliment. And I think something that I kind of practice in like my daily life is like, especially with men, I normally go out of my way every single day if I like see something that like a guy is like wearing or like whatever to try to compliment them.
I love
Men
that.
don't get enough praise like from other men. We're all like in this like very like center like weird closed offness like for whatever reason. If you look at a if my girlfriend posts a picture, she gets like 50 comments from girls like, "Oh my god, like slay," like you know what I mean? And it's
Yes,
like
queen.
I get nothing. You know what I mean? So I think it's just like men like working and obviously like women too. Like I would love to have a chick on the show at some point, like whatever, but they're not the ones that are really in dire need. 70% of 75% of suicides in our country are from males. So and you'd be surprised, dude. I've had some people reach out recently that like follow me and they're like, dude, you have no idea how much this means. Like I've been struggling. Like there's one follower, dude, this is heavy. Like his wife lost a battle of cancer. He exhausted everything he possibly has. He doesn't have a job right now. He has one kid at home and he's like trying to figure it out. I'm like, dude, wow. You know what I mean? Like that's,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
a
that's
lot.
when, I
It's a
mean, I
lot.
have goosebumps right now and it's like, that's when it hit me. And I was like, dude, if you ever need to talk, like, here's my number. I can be a resource. Like, I want to put myself out there. I want to be accessible. Unlike a lot of these people that, like, you know, as you get bigger and whatever else, it's just like content, 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 and it's like, dude, I need it to be freaking real and have substance. And you've scrolled back on the timeline on my stuff, so if you see it, like, I've become more and more myself as this thing has grown, and I've really like just found my own way of doing things and like just letting my normal day self actually show like in my video. I don't literally do retakes on anything. Everything done one shot. I take a bunch of these little clips, I clip it together. But like that's it. Like this is me like being like the most authentic version of myself. And it seems like this like mission that I'm on now. And honestly, it's an honor to be able to do this and to be able to like stand up for something and like actually promote something that's like not like enriching my like dude I saw sorry good I'm like a big good hater, not only because you see all like the kids wearing their hats and stuff, but like dude they're posting on a golf trip where they're driving Rolls Royces. And a huge part of my stuff is like for every product I sell, not only does it tell a story, but I'm peeling off a dollar amount. So like these hats, there's a specific food charity in Charlotte that feeds people. And so like every hat that I sell, like I'm taking money and I'm donating it to them.
Well,
And then
instead of doing this at the end of the podcast, tell them how do we get them right now? How can
you
we?
can't get them right now.
Okay.
The Shopify is being built. These came in early, but it's called the Monterey. So check that out. And it's cool because it's like the logo I has like golf, like the holes like in the words, and it's supposed to be like Monterey where golf is like a part of the landscape, and it's like where it changed my life. But this isn't a Richardson hat with somebody else with my it's got my logo on the tag on the back. So this is a completely custom hat. It's a great material. And the other day I got these the other night before I went to Tobacco Road, and I took like this really funny video where I opened the box and it was like hilarious because it was like to see something that you created like come to life.
Yeah. Yeah. To
And
be physically tangible that you can hold it is amazing.
it's one of the coolest things I've ever done in my entire life was this. And right now it's just like supporting my golf habit, right? Like and even still it's like, dude, I'm not made of money like by any means, right? I'm just like trying to get by like anybody else. But no matter, I think it's always important to like do something with the intention of like not just like helping yourself but helping other people. It makes me sick that like Sunday Red and these companies like sell shoes for $300. Come on, dude. Tiger Woods is a billionaire. Where's his humanity, dude? I love Tiger, but the same thing with Good. Like these guys are so washed out, corporate, just disgusting. There's no soul behind it, man.
Well, that's
And
that's what everything becomes, right? And that like at the heart of what people start off with is usually always good. But anytime money comes into it, I shouldn't say anytime, most of the time, when money comes into it, people tend to shift their values, their core values, right? And just kind of follow the money trail. And I can't hate on anybody for getting paid for stuff, right? But one of the things that I like is that you said it before, you're starting to be as you're getting bigger, you're starting to become your true self now, right? And that's what's selling. And I think if people had that mindset and just didn't kind of kowtow to what the corporates want, I think we'd be in a better space in terms of social media as a whole, right? It would
Yeah.
be more authentic, right? Like you said, there's that kind of, are you an edit golfer or are you a good golfer? Now, look, the way that we play is friggin' irrelevant, right? Like I have the quirkiest swing in the world and people love it because they're like, dude, how can you hit the ball with what you do? Like, how do you play that type of golf? That's resonated with people. To me, Lyle, I've always thought my golf swing looked like Ernie Els. Like I thought it was textbook until I saw it on video one time, and I was like,
Big Easy.
what the am I doing at?
Yeah. So are you familiar with like the story behind like Patagonia
You know what?
and the
I
founder?
believe I watched half of that documentary.
If there's ever a way to like really look at like, and then this is not for everybody. I'm not like some money hungry person, dude. Like, it's just there's more important things in life than just money, right? But talk about one of the coolest success stories ever in business. Like, essentially he started creating products for climbers after, and he was like living in a van.
Hmm.
And then like he built this like multi-billion dollar company, and then like he signed it all over to a trust to like protect the environment, right? And I think that's really cool. And then also too, it's like you look at a company like I've been a Costco member since 2017 on my own. I've been going to Costco my whole life. I love Costco, and it's like the Costco hot dog is a great example of like something you could always rely on. And so like the hats, like as I'm building out like a merch line, I have some really cool stuff in store, but I have a partner that has this. I essentially have a sewing factory in Sarasota where the products that I'm selling are being created and sewed together in Florida
Hmm.
by Americans supporting American jobs, not China. Um, so I'm really like, there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, like for field golf and like the merch line and everything else. Like I'm not trying to just pump out like polyester polos. I'm trying to do stuff that's cooler than that.
Right, right.
But this hat is like my loss leader in the sense that it's going to be $26 forever.
That's
And
awesome.
you're gonna have to effing kill me to change the price. And the quote of the Costco CEO. Are you familiar?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's like
I
he's
don't shop at Costco, but I've seen the reels with him and the
yeah.
interviews for it. Yeah, it's just
It
like
says
Arizona iced tea, right? Still 99 cents.
exactly, and like that kind of like promise to your base, I think is important because it's just like it'll always be that way because the intention behind this was to lower the barrier of entry to like cool and unique golf merch, and we live in an obsessed golf merch society. Um, but also like have a product that actually like does something. So it feels good to support field golf, and that sounds like super cliche, but it's true. But I mean, I go to a lot of golf shops. I'm in a golf shop almost every single day, right? And it's amazing. Like I was at uh, Cabot a few months ago. I'm like the biggest Cabot hater you'll ever meet, just
Okay.
because I had the worst experience of my life on a top 100. That was just like it was terrible. It's a long story. The course is like it's cool. It's like Tobacco Road in Florida, but it wasn't designed by Strands. Like it is what it is, right?
So
But
Cabot
like
Citrus Farms, you're talking about.
yeah,
Okay, okay,
but then
okay.
like you go in the golf shop and they're selling melon hats for $90, and it's like, dude, I know what these hats cost me, and it's like when they're making them at that type of scale, how much greed do you have to think that a hat is worth $90?
Yeah.
Like seriously, like that's sick. That is like just absolutely sick to me. So that's why, it's like, you know what, dude? Like, it's not all about making money. Like, I want to get products into the wild and have people wear them and like them. And today I was at the driving range. I just got pulled up in the van. This guy pulls up next to me. He's a younger doll, like pretty big looking dude. And like we started talking. Ends up like he was a football player at Marshall. But I was like, hey, dude, like, can I like show you something real quick? I want to get your feedback. Come over to my van, like literally. Box of hats, and I just have 100 of these right now.
Okay.
And I showed him that. I was like, dude, I just started this golf brand a few months ago. I just got my first run of hats back. Like, tell me what you think. And he like picked it up, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna pick a pretty big hat guy. And then he like was like, dude, this is actually like really cool. You notice all like the tags, and then once he put it on, he's like, how much are these? I was like, $26. He's like, no way. And he's like, what's your Venmo? And I was like, sure enough, I sold one in about 30 seconds. You know what I
That's
mean?
awesome.
So
Yeah.
it is cool. It's like I went, at my previous business, I started a consulting company where I was working with farmers and on energy efficiency projects. So I taught myself how to write grants and like capture USDA money. And like the pinnacle of my business career was like closing like a $2.5 million project in Florida, which is just a massive deal. It took me 2 years to get the deal closed, and it will complete construction on December 24th. And then that project is essentially funding this whole entire endeavor that I'm on right now, and be debt free in the new year and have kind of a clean slate to create and just kind of be free. So I went from selling these massive projects in like a C-suite to selling hats out of a van.
A van.
It's hilarious, dude, and I love it. And it's like, the other day I slept in a Walmart a few nights last week, but I woke up, I played Tobacco Road. I slept in a Walmart parking lot, then I played Tobacco Road, and then I went to Pinehurst that night. Slept in a Walmart parking lot in the area. I woke up, went to Sheets. You guys like Sheets in PA, right?
So we are Wawa people, okay? There's big
Like
tension
Wawa
between
too.
Wawa and Sheets. I could care less on any of those, right? I've got other places around the country that I love, but we've got a Wawa like 5 minutes from my house. Like my friggin' boys
Amazing.
are there
Yeah.
every day. I mean, it's stupid. It's the
Yeah.
place is like I leave for work at like 6 a.m. I pass it. The plate you can't even get a parking spot. I come back
Yeah.
at like 2:30 in the afternoon, home from work. You can't get a parking spot. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I woke up, went to Sheets, got a breakfast burrito, and then I went and
Hmm.
played the Cradle at Pinehurst, and then I bummed the shower in the Pinehurst #2 locker room. I like walked in there like I was playing, and I had all
Dude,
these.
just you walk in like you own the place. That's
Yeah.
my advice to people across the world, across generations. Walk in like you own the place, and people will not question you. It has
No, I
done
walked
me,
right in.
yeah, massive favors. It has done me. Believe me.
Yeah, I walked right in and I just like, dude, I bummed the shower, and they have the razors, the toothbrushes. So I'm
Yeah.
like
Yep. Yep.
kind of like in this like homeless simulator in the van, and then I walk into the Pinehurst #2 locker room, like showered, shaved, brushed my teeth, like they have all of the amenities.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all laid out there.
And then I went and played Southern Pines, and I was like, how funny is that? How many people have done that? Like woken up in a Walmart, and then you go and then you take a shower at Pinehurst locker room.
One of
I
the
was like,
one of the I tell you what, I always say this to people. If I ever became homeless, right, and I had just a car, I would literally hang out at golf courses because I can pass as a golfer anywhere, private club, muni club, whatever. I can dress the part anywhere, right? I can walk the walk, I can talk the talk. I know where things are located. Like I could have a good living just crossing the country, following the sunshine and keep myself clean and hygiene up and all that.
yeah, literally, but like that was like such a funny and like just ironic moment for me. And it's like if that's what the beginning of this journey is, then like this is like an adventure of a lifetime. And this all started because that trip in Europe, which is like supposed to be like this like golf adventure, and then the golf adventure has just I got back and just kept on playing golf every day, and just like I haven't really worked since like July. My business like at all. Like I've just been literally playing golf and doing this stuff. So it's just been so much fun. And the amount of like people that I've met along the way, this guy Reed, who's the stranger from like the first episode, dude, we're like texting all the time now. He called me the other night. He's like, dude, how's this like little side quest going in the van? I was like, dude, it's amazing. And like dude, it's just like so funny because like he's a friend now, and like he's
Yeah.
always gonna be a friend. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's just like I'm so grateful for like this whole like I'm kind of like building this community. And one thing that I love to post too are like my vintage outfits. And then the other
So I
night,
saw the one at Southern Pines, right? And it's funny because I saw that, and right off the bat, first to me, it's like that Jason Day Malbon type thing. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's a Mal. And then you went into it, and you're like, no, I've got this. Look at the saddle shoes and stuff like that. I thought it was awesome.
yeah, I'm like really into that. Like that's just I think it's like really fun. Like that is just like another avenue in golf that's allowed me to like be like my own personal self. But there's this one guy who like, and then I've had almost like 3 million plus views, and I really haven't had anybody try to like troll me or like call me out. This one guy who had like he's like a bot, dude. Like I don't know. It was just like He's like, what kind of frat boy sweater? Like, your doesn't match. Like, this looks terrible. And then, dude, like my entire followers just like roasted this guy,
I love that.
roasted him,
Yeah.
and the comments no longer there because he deleted it. But dude, this guy was getting reamed by my followers, and I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen, dude." It's like, dude, that's a sick tailor-made vintage hat.
Yeah.
Everything I was wearing was vintage. I was like, "You don't even understand ball the way that I understand ball, dude. Like, this is a cool outfit." Like, wow, people not only that are supporting me, but they have my back.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing something right if you're not getting trolled, because a lot of these Instagram golfers just get a lot of like negative like
Oh
feedback.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So I'm
And as
happy that I
and look, as the numbers grow, those people are going to find their way in, right? Because what people don't have, they want to hate on, right?
yeah.
So, quite honestly, the people that are always usually the loudest and the most have the most bravado out there are usually the people that are the most insecure. You know, it's that time old adage, but it's usually true.
Yeah, I mean, I just have so I'm like super grateful for the fact that like my first video, I was had like 200 followers, and then I posted this video on September 16th, and it now has like over 600,000 views. It was like a 20-second little field golf like swing tip that just like made my page explode, and then I went from essentially 200 followers to 10,000 in 90 days.
Yeah, and that's what's amazing about social media is because literally that's how it happens. You
Yeah,
know, one thing has to connect. Like you land one hook with the bait, and then the floodgates open.
yeah, no, it's true. And then ever since, I mean, like I hit 10K, and then like I hit 11K like 2 days later.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was posting like twice a day to try to hit this deadline of like 10K in 90 days, because that's a substantial amount of growth for like a page. I mean, I don't think I think that's like not necessarily normal. You know what I mean? And I remember like seeing some guys that like when I had like 200 that had like 500. I was like, how will I ever get there?
oh
But just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
staying consistent and just like staying in the pocket. And I think that there's kind of like a changing in the guards, because like a lot of the guys who are doing this, like that are like really big, they've been doing it for a while, and now there's like a whole new array of people trying to make their way into this whole thing that we're doing. But yeah, I'm excited. I really am excited, like for what the future holds. Because I like you said earlier, I think like this like realness and like rawness and the way that I'm like trying to portray golf is like
For sure.
needed. And yeah, so it's just this is kind of just crazy. I mean, the fact that I'm even like talking to you on like a golf podcast, like was not in my 2025 bingo card,
I
but
love that.
nothing has happened this year that I thought was gonna. I mean, it's been an incredible year. So it's amazing to see like how a little bit of consistent effort and just putting yourself out there, you can go from cringe to getting paid pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you what, I would love, if you're up for it, I'd love to check in maybe mid-year or towards the end of the year and again see the growth and how it's progressed and just kind of
Yeah.
follow the story along. So I want to get you out of here on this. You played some great courses already that you've mentioned. Is there a course next year that you're super looking forward to? Like, is there something you can put on the on like the pin board and throw a dart at and be like, hey man, like that's the place I got to get to, and if I get to that place, like I'll consider the year a success.
So I'll say this. I'm just gonna give you a little intro. I have a yes, the answer is yes. But it's somewhere I've already been before. And I'm going back. So I mentioned this golf course in Slovenia. It's called Royal Blood. It's about 100-year-old course in the Alps. And let me just like walk you through this place, because it's just this. There's nothing like this in golf that I've seen so far. And I've been to all the big properties, like, you know what I mean. I'm not one of these guys who are signing up for Sand Valley 2 years in advance to get out there. I don't know what I'm doing in 2 years. How am I?
Right, right.
Like, you can sign up for 2027 slots. It's like,
Yeah,
no, dude, like that's insane to me. So I played this course in August, and I show up, and it's supposed to be like one of the best in Europe, right? So I fly into your I get like an email, like I was already on the trip when I booked it, like because I didn't know where I was going. So I flew from Bulgaria to Slovenia, but the day or two before I left to go there, they sent me an email. They're like, hey, like, sorry to let you know, but we're going to start some maintenance on the day that you arrive.
oh man.
And they're gonna like punch and sand the greens. And I was like, they're still gonna be playable, but I was like, it's like I hate to hear that. I'm coming all the way from America.
Yeah.
That's disappointing to hear. So then what I did was I moved it up a day and I checked in a day and it was only supposed to be there for 2 days and I went and played the course and it just like it blew my mind. It was like beyond pristine. And just like the vibe, like being in the mountains. It's in this town called Bled, Slovenia. Now if you look up the town, if you type in Slovenia on Google, the first thing you're gonna see is this like alpine, crystal clear blue lake with like a church in the middle of it. And then there's a castle on this hill over looking over top of it. That's the town that this golf course is in. And
Wow.
they have a 3 day package and it's like $1,400 and it's unlimited golf. You get a 5 course like chef's tasting meal, you get breakfast every single day. When I showed up, they gave me a little key card and it's a private club, but they allow like play and stays and stuff. They gave you a locker, and it had my name on it when I arrived. And you scan it at this thing, and then like it pops open. So then you have your own locker for the time that you're there. You get like a 1 hour TrackMan analysis with the pro, unlimited golf, unlimited range, and then they also give you an e-bike. So you can take this e-bike out when you're done playing golf and ride around. One of the most beautiful things you've ever seen in your entire life. And there's people from all over the world in this lake, and it's only 100 feet deep, so it's actually like really nice to swim in. Crystal clear, dude. I took a rock from that bottom of that lake and I put it in my pocket. There's nothing like shooting at like a 72 and then going and then just like taking a bike around this town and going for a swim in this beautiful lake. There's just like nothing like it. So I get there and I check in and then I played it. Mine was blown. I was like, this is like unbelievable. Like everything about this place was the most like the highest level of service I've ever experienced on a golf trip. Even at night, they leave a card in your room with the course conditions for the next day.
Oh my god. And
Dude,
beyond reasonably priced.
beyond. I mean, beyond. That's you're talking. That's a 1 day at Pinehurst, and it's a minimum of 2 nights, right? Like, so anyway, and this is the coolest part. This golf course, literally, they said they were planning on doing maintenance. They never told me this, but I get there the first day I play, and I'm like, okay. And then they upgraded my room to like stay like in the clubhouse. They don't really have that many like options. They only have like 15 rooms. So it's like very small and personal. And dude, these guys were just like the service is incredible. And then day 2 comes, no maintenance. Day 3 comes, no maintenance. As I'm leaving, that morning that I was leaving the golf course, they actually began to do the maintenance. These guys held off doing course maintenance because I was there. And like that, like, are you serious?
Yeah, that's
So
special.
it is. I mean, it'll always hold a really special place in my heart. Royal Bled in Bled, Slovenia. I mean, it's like it's on the border of Italy. It's very easy to get to. It's not expensive. So I'm supposed to. They want me to lead like a coalition of Americans to Slovenia in May. So I've been talking with some other creators and some potentially some brands to kind of like piece together a trip. But they like we want to highlight it because like their pipeline of golfers are just like people from Europe. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not many Americans are going to Slovenia. But it's like it's hard to. I mean, like a flight from here to Slovenia from like the Carolinas is like $700. Like people blow thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go play a 6 hour round at Pebble.
Mhm.
I you play unlimited golf here. I mean, it's unlimited and it's the summer. I mean, I granted I only played 18 holes every single day because I was playing golf every day on that trip, and I also wanted to like ride the bike and hike and like take
Sure. Yeah.
advantage of
Experience
Slovenia.
the
But
rest of the place.
they have 27 holes there, and it's championship level golf at its purest form. I mean, it's the most some of the purest greens I've ever. The only course I've ever played that was in better condition was Spyglass Hill.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
mean, it
so
was
that's
just
saying something.
green and lush. I mean, it was like the beaver tails that you cut out there was just like, oh, the soil, dude, was so freaking good, dude. Everything about it, you know what I mean? It was just one of those really special places, and I'm lucky that they asked me to like come back and like they're putting together something to like make this all happen. And I kind of BS'd my way into it too because I told them I was like a golf writer from America, even though I
Fake it till
wasn't.
you make it, right?
I had like 100 followers, and I'm like, I'm a golf writer, but like whatever. You know what I mean? I was trying to be one. You know what I mean? So, but it's that's what I'm looking forward to most in this year. And
Awesome.
honestly, like I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot in this world, and it's like definitely people spend their money different ways. that's how I like to spend mine, and just like getting those perspectives. So I'm gonna try to get there like every single year. Like I really would like to, especially like at that cost. It's like, dude, it's golf has gotten so expensive in America. It's like skiing. I went skiing in Austria this past winter, and a single day pass is like $70 as opposed to $240 if you go out west. You know what I mean? So pound for pound, ski trips to Europe are cheaper, and I had the kind of the same experience in Europe playing golf. Golf in Europe is cheaper, and I wanted to do a golf adventure to Europe where it wasn't like Ireland and Scotland, because I wanted to like enjoy like the weather and like the history and like the food and stuff. So I highly recommend golf in Italy and Slovenia, and I'm actually going to be putting together a. I want to do like a guided golf trip to Italy. And I met this guy in Italy who's helping me polish my brand. He is so spontaneous, but I show up tomorrow. This is my last sidebar. Okay, this is a good one too. So I met this. So I show up the second day I was in Italy. I played Marco Simone, which is just like a beast of a golf course that held the Ryder Cup in 23. And it was really cool because I still have all like the Ryder Cup stuff up, like the locker rooms. Like it was like the Ryder Cup locker room. The golf course was like, it was just a beast of a golf course, like 7,500 yards. Like just I played it from the Ryder Cup tees. And but I show up in my taxi, like, and I was like asking the taxi driver like questions, and like this guy walks by, he's like, "Are you American?" I was like, "Obviously." And so he invited me to play with him that morning, and it's this guy named Rob, who is like, he lives in New York City. He's like a head of global marketing for some massive real estate developer. We played around a golf together, and we had a really good time. And we've just kept in touch ever since. And then he's just like, we talk almost every single day now, and he's like helping me like polish the brand, and just like I have some other people that are helping me, and I have some other projects I'm like working on, like different streams like within field golf. It's not just like merch. I have a lot of different things I'm excited to roll out next year. But everybody that's helping me like on this like to try to create my vision, I've just like happened to meet playing golf, which is cool.
Right, that's the thread.
Yeah. It is cool. It really is. So yeah, I'm really excited for like the direction of like field golf into the new year.
Well, I for one am a fan. I'm glad I got in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Lyle, tell people where they can reach you. Give them both Instagram accounts, where they can reach you at, and then people, obviously we know he checks his DMs. So if you want to play some golf, hit him up.
So my Instagram is it's at field golf with 2 underscores. And then the golf with a stranger specific, which is my passion project, is at golf with a stranger underscore. YouTube is coming. I have YouTube handles for both. I think one's at field.golf, but it just like has nothing on it. And then there is a golf with a stranger YouTube channel as well, but we'll release those in the new year.
Fantastic. Well, Lyle, I cannot thank you enough for your time. Honestly, corny as hell, but big fan, dude. Like I
Yeah.
love your stuff. I cannot wait to see more of it, my man.
Everybody likes a little bit of cheese.
For sure, for sure. All right, people. So either get busy golfing or get busy dying.